I'm an entertainment designer who's also a lifelong car addict, science nerd, sci-fi geek, and general anything mechanical enthusiast. I thought I would turn my imagination into a YouTube channel and share it with the world. Come along and explore all kinds of crazy from my notebooks, sketchbooks, and even my mind. Welcome to Design Imaginarium. Welcome back to Design Imaginarium. We've had a pretty good response to the first two videos, and I wanted to open up the discussion for what the next project should be to everyone out there in YouTube land. I'm going to run through a few possibilities for the next project, all of which I've created at least some basic artwork for. The first project is another automotive project. As you may have picked up from my first two videos, I'm obsessed with open-wheel vehicles. And another sort of open-wheeled vehicle that I've always been fascinated by are what are called Lakesters. These originated as disposable aircraft fuel tanks that were incredibly abundant after World War II. GIs coming home from the war started building hot rods and land speed record cars out of them. I've been sketching and designing Lakesters for as long as I can remember. But the one I'm most interested in is what would happen if somebody in the late 40s or 50s found a huge aircraft drop tank and put one of the most powerful engines available at the time, an aircraft engine, in it for power. Let me know if you're interested in seeing something like this come to life. Here's another thought experiment from the same time period. You might have seen this sketch in my introduction or in a previous video. This is a fictional strategic air command bomber that exists in an alternate universe after World War II, where aircraft had unusual wing and fuselage plans, and the jet engine didn't end the effectiveness of aircraft ball turrets, so those ball turrets were still part of aircraft design. Let me know if there's any aircraft enthusiasts out there that would like to see this rise up out of the sketch. A contemporary thing I'm fascinated by is the elusive cabin motorcycle, which has been extensively spotted in design studios and occasionally on proving grounds, but has never had an example make it into widespread production. Now, a lot of people think these are just funny little creations not to be taken too seriously. But believe it or not, they just might have the power to end traffic jams all over the world and end any nation's dependence on foreign oil. This may be hard to believe right now, but these might have as big effect on our society as the internet or the advent of the smartphone. And if you want to learn how that could be possible, ask me to make this the next video about how these might just be a very big deal in the future. Like any overgrown adolescent, I have a healthy fascination with gigantic construction and earth-moving equipment. And the bigger and more unusual the vehicle is, the more I like it. Dump trucks are of particular interest to me, like any 11-year-old. This is one of the largest haul trucks in the world. It can carry almost 400 tons of material, and they get used day and night, non-stop, for decades. And when they're all worn out, they get sent to a refurbishment facility and rebuilt and used again for another 20 years. Many companies would like to be using larger trucks so they can move more material with each shuttle run. But these double axle designs are near the limit of what they can handle. There is a way around this, though. This is a machine called a self-propelled modular transporter, and it's designed to carry enormously heavy loads. They can adjust their pitch angle and their roll angle, and the individual wheel bogies can vary their ride height. They can also be combined in any size and configuration, depending on what the job is. The wheel bogies can also allow the platform to move or spin in any direction. Leveraging this heavy lift technology would allow truck manufacturers to build larger and more capable haul trucks. Here are a couple of ideas that I was playing with for something that could leverage this technology. Those sketches led to this design: a hypothetical haul truck that could haul thousands of tons of material, much more than any existing vehicle design. Let me know if you're interested in this being the next design project. Another thing I'm really interested in is sailboats. Specifically large sailboats. You might call these yachts. The biggest super yachts are all powered by diesel engines, but I don't find those very interesting. I'm only interested in sailing yachts, and I especially like the high-performance multi-hull variety of sailing yacht. When you combine this multi-hull architecture and build things like beach clubs into the hull, and the ability to carry lots of water toys, it gets really interesting. If it were possible to combine these sorts of high-end, lightweight, multi-hull yacht designs with foiling racing technology, as well as rigid or semi-rigid wing sail technology, you could create something really incredible. I've been playing around with ideas for things like this for a long time, and am incredibly interested in the possibilities for what a sailing techno-enthusiast billionaire could create in this genre. Let me know if you're interested in exploring this idea more. It's a little known fact that this is statistically the single most dangerous job in the industrialized world. It's a lot safer to cut trees down like this, with what's called a logging harvester. But these machines are limited in that they can't work on extremely steep hills or in deep swamps. They also cause substantial environmental damage to the forest floor when they drive around on their tracks or wheels across the ground. What if there were a machine that could operate in any terrain and on any steepness of slope and didn't cause the ground surface destruction that conventional logging harvesters create? What if there were a machine that could tiptoe from tree to tree and never even touch the forest floor while harvesting the logs? This machine's ability to access terrain previously unreachable by logging harvesters would also take the pressure off of existing, more accessible forest stocks and spread human logging activity more evenly across the ecosystem, so we wouldn't have to do so much of this. To facilitate moving this machine from site to site, it would be designed so that it can fold down into the exact dimensions and shape of a standard international shipping container. It would be transported in container form, but once the machine arrived at the job site via any container-compatible truck, the next step is that it would unlock from the truck trailer at each corner. Then it would swing its front and rear legs out and deploy the log bed stakes. Once it's on its front and rear legs, then the machine can lift up and swing its middle legs out from their stowed position. Then the machine would simply lift up off the flatbed trailer and walk to the work area. Let me know if you're interested in seeing an industrial machine like this come to life. The last option seems to show that I'm apparently also fascinated by enormous World War II-ish era aircraft. In the 30s and 40s, all major nations wanted a design for an intercontinental bomber that could cross oceans, bomb an enemy, and get home on one free tick. That didn't actually happen until 1949 when the American B-36 was put into service. But boy, were Germany and America trying to create this prior to that moment. The German efforts were particularly interesting. The most successful designs on paper were enormous flying wings that could cruise more efficiently than any aircraft with a fuselage because of their superior lift-to-drag and lift-to-mass ratios. This is one that I imagine Germany might have designed in the late 30s or early 40s if they had the resources and weren't suffering under the Allies' campaign to gradually turn all of German-occupied Western Europe into an endless moonscape of bomb craters. So if there are any flying wing fans out there, let me know in the comments or on my Patreon page, and we can do this one next. Alternately, if anyone has ideas they want to throw out for something completely different, put them in the comments below or email them to me from my channel address or my Patreon account. If you like what you saw today, feel free to like and subscribe and let me know what you liked best about the video in the comments. If you didn't like what you saw today, feel free to dislike and subscribe so you can see how rotten the next video is. And also feel free to tell me how much I suck in the comments below.